Hello and welcome to my apartment. In a couple of seconds, you will be watching our inaugural episode. Hello, welcome. We are Scott Wolfson and Other Heroes. We're your hosts. Thanks for tuning in. We'd like to introduce you to our performer today. Not only does she have an amazing vocal range, from angelic folk to jazzy blues, but she also happens to be a terrific songwriter. Please welcome Honor Finnegan. Honor's got a brand new album out, The Tiny Life. It's not huge, we're just very small people. All right, The Tiny Life. Now, those of us who know Honor, of course, know how we could find out where to get the album. Google it! But why don't you tell everybody else where they can get a copy of The Tiny Life?
You can get it at www.honorfinnegan.com, or you can get it at CD Baby, or you can get it on iTunes. Just Google it. I think that is the answer.
Excellent. Now, Honor, you and I are going to talk in a moment, but for right now, it's time for the guest request. So, what song would you like us to play?
Apocalypse Cafe!
All right. Apocalypse Cafe. The waitresses are spitting in a glass. Behind the door, the cook takes food up off the floor. The clientele has very little plans. What you say, I can't seem to stay away. What you say. What you say, I know how we'll be okay. Close your eyes and it's a perfect. Couple starts to fight. The drunk girl trips and sits down on the floor. And in a booth, the crazy man is spitting truth. And the lady back behind him starts to start. What you say, I can't seem to stay away. What you say. What you say, I know how to be okay. Close your eyes and it's a to disappear. And I'm a joke now because even though I'm broke, I flag the waitress down to bring her back. What you say, I can't seem to stay away. What you say. What you say, I know how to be okay. Close your eyes and it's a very perfect day. What you say, I can't seem to stay. Sitting here on the couch with me right now is Honor Finnegan. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Sitting with me is Scott Wolfson.
I certainly am. All righty. So, some questions for you about your songwriting.
Okay.
First of all, Honor Finnegan, obviously, that's a Russian Jewish name. So, some of your songs are very Irish focused.
That's true.
So does Irish music have a lot to do with what you do, or is it just a background for you?
I definitely hear a lot of Irish melodies in my head.
Mm-hmm. But you don't set out to be like, I'm going to do a new Irish folk song.
I don't set out to do anything.
You have some songs, the title track from your album, Tiny Life, for example.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about some of the other songs, Milo's favorite, that we were just talking about before, about how we don't live so long. And they're humorous songs. Are you afraid, like, of being pigeonholed as being humorous?
You know, I would be if I could write another funny one. But lately, I've noticed that my repertoire of gloomy stuff has really, like, grown, and I only really have a few funny songs. So it's interesting, even though I am being kind of, like, thought of as somebody who writes funny stuff, you know, because of the Tiny Life. It's definitely a small percentage of my material, and I actually would like to write funnier stuff, but I don't think I can sit down and say, I'm going to write something funny. I haven't been successful at it yet.
Because the stuff that I like the most of yours is, of course, the really pretty, sad stuff. Okay. Little Bird is a beautiful song, and it sounds as if it's out of time.
Appreciate that.
Now, is that, once again, from your big influences? I tend to listen to...
I mean, I only think about what is going on in a particular piece after it's written. Wouldn't you also... I mean, there's...
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I don't sit down and go, oh, like, maybe I'll do something that's a little bit like, you know, an MGM movie, and it's also a little bit like...
yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite. That's exactly what I do.
So that's so different, right? I mean, I just do it, and then I go, oh, gosh, that sounds a lot like this, or it sounds a lot like that, you know? And so I could analyze it after the fact, but I don't set out with that in mind, you know? You know, I guess my feeling about it is there's no, like, you know, obviously there's no right way to do it.
Certainly
you know?
not.
And
not that I could tell you.
Yeah. And I was thinking today, you know, if you were going to ask me this question, like, initially when I started writing, it was always melody, 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 and then words. Maybe sometimes the two coming together. And then later on, now more, it's like words come first and then melody.
For those of you playing at home, this is a question that every songwriter needs to ask every other songwriter. And basically what it is...
What comes first?
What comes first? It's a chicken and egg thing. Yeah.
But I would say that that one informs the other in either case. You know how you sometimes, well, I won't say sometimes, a lot of times your melody and your lyric are almost juxtaposed in some way?
Yeah.
I have maybe like one or two songs like that, but for the most part, if I hear a melody, I sort of ask myself, what is this telling me? Or something like that, and I'll use that sound to inform the meaning or the content. And conversely, like if I write the words first, I'll sort of think about what, you know, like try to intuit what melody would go with that song or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned is I do like dichotomy. I know that people talk about the fact, oh, the melody sounds so happy, but the lyrics are, you know, and the thing is, I kind of like that tension that pulls. And you've done that with some of your songs.
I have.
But not consciously.
I know, I don't know, you know, if, you know, it's a problem, but not consciously.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's just the way that you work.
I always wanted one of these when I was a kid.
I want to talk about a few of your songs. I know we were talking about melody and lyrics before, but some of the songs that you start off with lyric-wise. Yeah. You have a bunch of songs like Tiny Life, where it starts off with a premise, and it's like the lyrics wrap around that premise for the whole song. So it's like, I want a tiny this, I want a tiny this, I want a tiny this.
I love your analysis. You start with the premise. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Hey! This kid went to college.
Okay, so I wanted this, I wanted that, and then what was the rest?
Well, my question was, do you sit down and you think, okay, I need to expound upon this original theme that I've set up?
You know, I do sort of look, I can't just, what I would say is, like, when I start with something, I'm waiting for it to click. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, so, like, when it clicks, then I kind of know what my path is, and I just have to kind of, like, it is a little bit like a puzzle, and then I know I just have to kind of put it together and you know, see how it fits and what makes the picture that I want.
When does the puzzle finish for you? When are you done with your puzzle?
I feel like in a way it's done when I kind of know what I'm doing. It's like like a song.
Jeez, I'd never be done.
But you know what I mean. I kind of like there's still little surprises, you know, in terms of lyrics or whatever, maybe melodies, endings, bridges, things like that, you know. But the sort of core of the idea is good, and I know it's enough for a whole song. I think the thing for me is I really want to have fun when I'm writing. Like part of the whole deal of writing in the first place is that fun, that energizing kind of part of it.
What is this fun you speak of? I don't know. When you sit down to work, like we're in my office right now, this is where I do all of my stuff, and I actually think that, oh, they're panning around. I actually think that it makes it more conducive for me to work, so I can say, especially because I have ADHD, so it's like, to be honest, I haven't been paying attention to half the interview right now. So the thing for me is I like to have some place to go, sit, work, and then leave, go someplace else and do.
It sounds smart to me.
But you don't do that?
I don't know. I don't.
You don't know, or you know you don't do it?
I don't do it.
Or you don't know that you know that you don't.
What I do know I need to do, what does happen for me is I tend to be more productive when there are fewer distractions, which is kind of what you're saying too. When there's fewer people around, when I don't have the computer on, obviously, or the television.
You're an internet junkie, so of course.
I mean, I have been known to like write a verse and like kind of run my mouse over the little icon to see if there's a message or something, but it's not the best way to work.
Well, do you think it's helpful for you as a musician, as a songwriter?
What, Facebook?
Yeah.
Well, Life is Short and Internet Junkie did come from being on the internet.
I don't just mean as an impetus for a song. And I mean,
but
that's
I'm
great
grateful
too.
for that.
Yes, no.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm always grateful for all the pain that's made me write the songs that I write.
Right.
Thank God for that. But no, but I mean, as far as like finding people, do you think it's helpful for you getting your songs out to other people?
Well, it has been for me.
I want to talk about We Are Hearts.
Okay.
Just because it is my favorite song on the album.
Right.
It kind of rings as like an anthem to me.
Okay.
Is that something that you envisioned for that? Like it was going to be this like sweeping epic kind of song? No, you didn't.
I don't know. Yeah, I keep telling you, I don't.
You don't plan anything.
I don't envision anything.
You just wake up after some night of wild drinking, and you've got a couple of songs.
I don't drink at all. Okay, let's just get that out.
You're an Irish and you don't drink?
Exactly. I don't touch this stuff.
You don't? Because I don't stop drinking.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I did imagine it kind of like with a good, you know, because I only play the ukulele and it doesn't have that kind of grand sound. But I did hear it like more with guitar.
By the way, this is the international symbol for grand. All right.
I didn't envision it as a grand and sweeping. I did have like I imagined it as a certain type of like guitar folk thing that I hadn't written yet. When I started to hear it, I was like, oh, it's going to be like that. That's cool because I've never written anything like that. You know what I mean?
Because it's not a traditional like verse chorus
This is
song.
true. And I did have a challenge with that initially because because it kind of keeps going around and around, and I was like, where do I end it? You know, what do I do in terms of like the gaps between the sections? I was sometimes making them irregular, like shorter here, longer here, but eventually I worked out a rhythm that I liked, and the ending made it work. You know, this kind of like 3-chord thing, and I just kind of came up with that by playing around with it intuitively. That's how I work to a large extent.
What is that called? Is that called
intuitively?
Intuitively?
Yeah.
This is the international symbol for this
intuition.
Is grand and this is intuitive.
Yes.
There's a folk joke about the fact that everybody has to write a train song, which I of course have not done. And one of the things I love about Honor's train song is it's a subway train song. So urban folk.
Sometimes being given an assignment like that has been super productive for me, and I've ended up really liking those things. Partly because it sort of, you know, I don't know, came from, I didn't expect it. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, do you find, because this is what I like about challenging myself when I write, is that it pushes your comfortability zone. Okay. And so sometimes that's a wonderful thing, and you find out, wow, that works. Sometimes, unfortunately.
Can you say that word again?
Comfortability?
Zone.
Zone. Comfortability zone.
Okay.
And sometimes that's good because you're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And I'll do that sometimes when I wrote a song about you.
Yeah.
In the style of
yeah,
Honor.
I liked that song.
Just because I'd heard your stuff and I was like, I don't write anything like that. And so that was a challenge for me, and I've done it with other people too.
The only thing I didn't like about that song was, to me, it seemed that you were implying that I was not a good dancer, and I'm actually an excellent dancer, and I want that. Okay, I'm not a great dancer, but I'm an excellent mover.
I want to thank you for joining us. Before it's actually it's time for our segment On Demand from the Band, where we make her play a song. So, Honor, would you play We Are Hearts for us?
I'll think about it.
Honor Finnegan is going to be playing We Are Hearts. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Scott.
Playing We Are Hearts off her album, The Tiny Life, with guitarist Carl Money. Here's Honor Finnegan.
We are hearts inside of bodies, built for sailors, built for kings, built for lovers, built for scholars. We are not these things. We are hearts inside of houses, made of windows, made of floors, made of rooftops, made of chimneys, memories and doors.
Our guest today was Honor Finnegan. We were Scott Wolfson and other heroes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.
Face melting metal.
Damn you, Honor Finnegan! See, this is what happens.
That's just between you and me. Don't put that on.
Don't tell anybody.
And so
It's just
some
between us.
and I love